Hi guys, welcome back. Let me set this up a little cuter. Okay. Hello guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be telling you guys the advice that I would give my 18-year-old self. I am now 25. I have learned a lot in these past few years. This isn't necessarily directed towards exactly my 18-year-old self. It's towards just my younger self, even myself like yesterday, because honestly these lessons are ongoingly being learned. Like there's so many of these lessons that I know logically and understand, but still have to be implemented in practice every single day, and I have to like relearn them and come back to them. There's a lot of beauty in knowing the things that you need to work on, even if that means that there is no like final destination in mind. Like for example, let's say you're working on your health. You know, you're really trying to get to this health goal, but you know that there's really no end goal. Like, there is no finish line to that goal. So I feel like that's like what it is with all of these life lessons. I'm gonna just go through the list and we're gonna have a little chat. It's gonna be very casual. Get your matcha. Mine's already done, but hopefully yours is just starting. Also, let me introduce myself really quick. I'm Erin. I post content on self-development, lifestyle vlogs, fashion content, and I basically am just sharing how I'm trying to be my best self in all areas of my life. If you want to stick along for my little journey on here, please subscribe. I would love to have you. And if you are subscribed, you know how I feel about you. I love you so much. So, the first thing that I have on this list is something that I was told a lot when I was younger by my parents, and I don't know if they really meant it. I feel like they did because my parents are just the best, but as an adult I can see how it's hard to mean this, and that is that you can do anything that you want, you can be anything that you want, you can achieve and have anything that you want. I feel like a lot of us, if we're lucky and we have those supportive, positive parents, we're told that, and I don't know necessarily if people believe it, because as we get older it seems like we hit the age of maybe like 17, 18, and it's like, okay, get real. All your dreams are not coming true, and you need to go and be logical and get like this 9-to-5 job, and you need to get married and settle down and just find security, because a lot of that realistically is what our parents had to do in order for us to be where we're at. And so I get where it's coming from, but I just think it's interesting the way the switch happens of being like, you want to be an astronaut, you want to be an actress, to then being like a few years later, no, be realistic, because none of that's happening. So it's like, where's that big talk about, oh, you can be anything you want to be? What happened to that? And I'm here to tell you that you can be anything you want to be. And that is not some pretty little words. You genuinely can be or do or have anything you want, but you do have to believe. If you don't believe that you can, I'm sorry, but you can't. Like there's no way around that. Like you have to believe that it's possible for you. And then it is. Then you just have to take the steps to get there and be patient and work towards it, and you'll eventually get there. But it is definitely the first step, and the first like baseline you need to have is believing that that's possible. But I feel like if I could tell my younger self anything, I would really want to drill into her mind that even though she's approaching the age of having to be super realistic with life, to dream big, because anything can happen. If you couldn't be everything you want to be, then there would be no evidence of that. There would be no people living their dream lives. There would be no people that are feeling really, really fulfilled and successful in their life. They are evidence that it's possible. So why would it not also be possible for you? It's not like it's a numbers game where it's like, oh, only 2% of people. Who says? Maybe you break that rule. Maybe you increase the percentage. You just have to believe, and then you're capable of doing whatever it is you want to do. I just really wish I could have instilled that belief in her of like, what you want to do, you can do. There is nothing standing in your way except for you. Whether it's you needing to develop a skill or learn a new language or just anything, like you can do whatever it is you want to do. This next one is something I really wish I could tell everybody, and that is that your value is dependent on your environment. So be around people who need people like you. Your value especially when you're growing up, is so dependent on your environment. Let's say, for example, you grow up in a home where being artistic is really important. All of your parents are artists and they draw, they make music, they're very artistic in nature, but you're very good at like math and science, for example. You may feel less valuable as a human being because you're simply a little bit less valuable in your family norm, in your family unit, but that doesn't actually change your inherent value. There are people that need the science and math people in the world. You just happen to not be born into that family. And that applies also into like friendships or the school or the neighborhood you're in or just any of those things. Like your value is so dependent, especially at a young age when you're impressionable. You don't have the grasp of how big the world is and that you can find your place to fit in. So you assume that if you don't fit in, there's something wrong with you and not that you're just misplaced and that you need to find the right place, the right people to be with. So I think that's another thing is when you're picking friends, when you're picking a partner, when you're in the job role that you're in, pick people who need people that are like you. So if you're super fun and exciting, pick people who want that, pick people who need that. Don't go pick people who want to be around people who are really negative or calm or whatever, you know what I mean? Like, then obviously they're going to make you feel too loud and too big and too extroverted. Like, they don't need you. That is not where they hold value in people. They are looking for someone different. And so let them look and you go find the people that need you, because there are tons of them and they deserve to have you because they need you. The next one, something that I feel like I took a really long time to learn. I mean, maybe not. I feel like I learned this maybe at like the age of 23 or so. And that is that you can be alone. This plays into relationships, like romantic relationships, but also just like in general. Like when I was in high school, I used to try and fill every single moment with being with someone. I would always be with my friends after school. I would always be with my partners after school. I just like would never spend time alone really. If I did, I wasn't necessarily like enjoying it. It was just like happening, if that makes sense. Whereas now, I love my alone time. I'm very much, I think, an extrovert, so I definitely do get energized by people and I do love being around people, but I also really find that I can ground myself and get like centered and re-energized in different ways when I'm alone. If I don't have time alone for a little while, I definitely can feel it and I start to get a little like just not feeling my best. And I love what I get to do when I'm alone. I love my little activities that I do and my hobbies and the shows that I watch when I'm by myself and the meals that I make and just being in my own company. I had been in back-to-back relationships literally since I was like in middle school. I literally was obsessed with boys and always had a crush, always had something that was like a boy that was in my mind or like the focus of my attention, I guess you could say. But if you're someone that was like me, that was kind of like a serial monogamous girly, try and take a breath, like come up for air and look around you and realize that you're scared, and then just be there with yourself through that fear. And eventually, once you pass through a little bit of time, you'll realize that it's actually really blissful and peaceful and you have like a full life without somebody. And then if you were to meet somebody, they would just be an addition rather than being like part of your world, like a part of your world that's critical and crucial. You should still feel like if you were to be alone, yes, maybe you'd be sad for a while, but you would be okay. Like you would eventually be at the bare minimum okay. And even maybe play with the idea of the possibility that you'd be happy after a little bit more time passes, because chances are you will be. You were put with yourself for a reason. Like you were placed into this body, into this mind, into this life for a reason. Or you should be okay with being with you, because literally you were meant to be with you. You are like the one. You're looking for the one outside of you. I mean, same girly, same. But realistically, you are the one. Like you are the love of your life. You are your person. You should be your world. You know what I mean? Sometimes you need space from other people. You need time alone to be able to realize that you have that with yourself, because everyone's always distracting you outwards and you don't really have time to be like, wow, I actually really fuck with you, Aaron. You know what I mean? Like, insert name here. Your name's not Aaron, I'm assuming. If it is though, comment down below if your name is Aaron. The next thing I would say to my younger self is to learn how to breathe. I feel like I breathed so shallow for so long, and learning how to breathe would have helped me out of so many panic attacks and so many anxious moments. I felt like I needed someone to like hold me and make me feel better, but really I just needed like my breath. And when I say learn how to breathe, I mean like learn how to intentionally breathe. Like, okay, I'm gonna breathe in for 4 and I'm gonna breathe out for 6, whatever it is. There's so many different breathing techniques you can learn online, so I'd say go learn that if you don't know that already. I wish I could have understood the impact that would have. I always just thought that it was something people did, and I don't know, actually maybe did I even know about breathing when I was younger? I feel like not really, but the importance of like actually getting oxygen in your body and then fully letting out your breath, it's simple but it works. Okay, next one. The next thing I'd want to tell my 18-year-old self is to care for your body as someone you love and just treat yourself like someone you love. I think with just like eating fast food all the time, not drinking enough water, letting people have access to you that don't necessarily deserve to have access to you, just like not treating this body, this person, like someone you love. It's something that I feel like a lot of us do, especially at a younger age, and I really wish I could have like understood just how like special I am, or just like how lovable I am, or just like what I deserve at a younger age. And I think the idea of treating yourself like someone you love is a lot easier to think of, because when sometimes you're thinking of like, okay, love yourself, love yourself, love yourself, it's like, what does that mean? Like, what are the instructions? Where's the how-to on how to do that? But if you just think of like, okay, who's someone you really love in your life, whether it's like your best friend or your sister or your aunt or your cousin, whoever, think of someone you really, 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 really love. How do you treat them? You should be treating yourself that same way, if not more. Like, you should be loving up on yourself more than you're loving up on the people that you love your absolute most. You have no responsibility to anybody other than yourself. Your responsibility is to care for you. The next thing is to romanticize school. And this is something I really wish I had done. I didn't romanticize like studying and like just like learning and being in class. And like, I wish I could have romanticized being studious, if that makes sense. And I feel like I see it all the time now on like Pinterest with like school aesthetic. I feel like it would have made me like the actual academic part of school a lot more. But this also feeds into so many other areas of your life. Like, romanticize your work life, romanticize your extracurriculars, romanticize just whatever lifestyle you're living right now, whatever you're doing in your life, romanticize it. I think the last advice that I'd want to give my younger self is to not take things personally and realize that literally everything is a projection. If you're meeting someone that's really nasty to you, don't take it personally. It says way more about them than it does about you. If you think about happy people are not tearing other people down. Happy people are not being mean or making little nasty comments or in people's comments hating or wishing people ill. Like, happy people they're happy. Life, what they see in front of them, it looks different than what miserable people are seeing through their eyes. Even if they could see the same thing right in front of them, they both could be looking at the ocean water in front of them, and a happy person would see a different view than a miserable person. And it's because everything is a projection of what's inside of you. And I wish I could have known that at a younger age, because I definitely would like take on things that people would say and be like taking it personal, or take people's reactions or how they acted or how they were feeling even personal, and it had nothing to do with me. It had everything to do with them. Very rarely is someone actually accurate in the negative things they're saying about you. And I'm not saying that you shouldn't be like aware or like willing to work on yourself. Definitely take into account like, okay, is this thing true? For the most part, it has nothing to do with you, babe. It has nothing to do with you. They're in their own worlds. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you're at this point in the video, comment down below a flower to let me know you made it this far. Please like the video. It really helps me out. Comment down below any lessons you would want to share with your younger self. I love you guys so, so, so much, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye, guys.